for the first time for the second round robin of the world's group stage. Absolutely beautiful skybox as well, I have to say. We've had some great ones, but I really like this cityscape. It's absolutely stunning. As Jensen putting an orb down with Faker's skin in hand. Of course, Faker's not going to use it. You may as well use it yourself, guys. That's how it works.
Well, as we're taking a look at the runes, it's not going to be the Halo Blades on Echo. It will be the Electrocute. And so we'll see how the trade patterns do unfold. You have Airy up there in top lane for Impact.
Yeah, I'm going to give you
Predator
a lot more trading
Bear.
power. No real surprises. Looking down those keystones, of course. Apart from Mickey going back to his Hail of Blades Tahm Kench. Absolutely love it. Very similar to the Hail of Blades Brahms that we were privy to over here in the LCK. Works very similarly, just means that you can eat faster. And a gentleman like Tahm Kench, who does have a food-related skin, probably loves that. And Mickey using the correct skin as well. This is the Hail of Blades Tahm Kench skin, the Master Chef one. Yep. Perk's going to take half of his health bar and damage. Tactical taking a bit back, but still a great trade for TL. And our eyes are going to be on Tactical. This guy does the majority of his team's damage so far at Worlds, even if he is such a young gentleman on this roster. A lot of it, of course, having to do with Core JJ. And just how good he is as Haymaker comes down. Mickey taking a lot of damage here as there is some biffo towards the bottom side of the map.
Well, definitely a lot of trading going on here. Also, Exhaust versus Ignite is what's currently present. Looks like Mickey and Perks, they're really trying to get this level 2.
As
get it, yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very similarly timed as Tactical's going to miss that CS, and Mickey's just going to lick Core JJ a little bit.
A little bit of a tongue work there.
Yeah, it was. I liked it.
And we can see on the jungle, Yanko's already looking to get a little bit aggressive. Ooh, yeah. He's gonna. Ooh.
That is high value.
Okay.
That Storm Strike. Broxah does get the big one though, so not too worried there. As Yankos just going to make sure that this horse is well and truly in the stable.
Yep.
Of his mid lane.
He's protecting that ward.
Yeah, also doesn't have a top side that he can go to, right? So it's not like he can transition out. I actually really love what Yankos is doing, just playing goalie.
Is going to cheater. I think he's, well, he was looking for maybe a cheater recall, but instead, ooh, he's taking a lot of damage.
Yeah, this is getting real dangerous.
Yeah, he really wants to just crash this wave in and then leave. Impact.
Oh my god, it's a flash forward. The flash immediately from Wonder as well, but they're going to trade. That means now both junglers, their ears prickling at this top lane flashless situation. Yep. No one going to die just yet, as Wonder does actually have a decent CS advantage, having shoved that wave all the way forward.
Right, so he gets the reset off with 18 CS, so he only has enough for Darksteel plus the control ward. Going to teleport back into the lane, and now the question becomes is how long can Impact sustain inside of the lane with just the Biscuit and his current HP and mana value? Because then Lulu can get into Chalice if she wants to go that for the first item.
Yep.
Get herself some magic resistance as well as sustain.
Yeah, a lot of these Lulus really like to get towards the Swiftness boots as well, quite early on. As, of course, Noguri debuting this top Lulu here at Worlds demonstrated that one. Definitely a very supportive build for this particular champion, which is going to work out extraordinarily well for the TL composition as they move closer and closer to these team fights. Currently, TL do have a slight gold advantage, but it's absolutely nothing to write home about. As Wonder will be taking the Rift Scuttler here to deny that one away from Broxah. And I feel like since Hecarim came back into the meta, this has happened so much more. People have figured out that you just need to take camps away from the horse, and then he doesn't have nearly the amount of value that he had when he sort of re-debuted here in the jungle. It's just sort of like going back into the playbook, very similar to, you know, Evelynn playstyles and things like that. When she's meta, she's easy to understand, but if you surprise people, then it's sort of hard to get that muscle memory sort of back, which is why some of these cheesy picks can work out very, very well. Of course, not calling Evelynn cheese, she's extremely strong at the moment. But if you can make people have to readjust how they play the game, it's definitely a good idea. As Brox is going to sneak in towards the top side. Not sure how a hooved animal is able to sneak, but he did manage to do so.
This is interesting because you can see the Impact doesn't really need that much assistance. The only reason for Broxah to ever be doing this is if they anticipated that Yankos would come. on this wave. And you can see Wonder, he's threatening a freeze. And this is really problematic because the cannon minion is coming. So this can end up going indefinitely, depending on how Impact and Wonder both manage their waves here. Yanko's going to move into the brush now. This is really scary because there's not a lot that they can deduce from anything. Impact not even level 6 yet.
Yeah, there's Storm Strike, half the health bar now onto Impact. That looks like they're going for the dive. Great stun comes out, and First Blood's oh so easy for G2 topside.
And that's really bad because no teleport for Impact. This is a nightmare situation for him right now. He's missing so many minions, and he's already CS capped up there in top lane. So Wonder with a fantastic advantage. Also, he got the kill, so his Darksteel getting a little bit of AP.
Ooh, there we go. Added value.
Added value on top.
You really got to look at that. This is why you're the lost salesman.
This is, you know, I mean, the war on Boris, it rages on.
I know. Every single day.
Yeah.
As Mickey and Perks back down to here towards the bottom side. In fact, there are a couple of members extra for G2 as the slows down onto Core JJ. Immediate flash out from Tactical.
Ooh.
He's down to 2,500 health, but they turn it onto Mickey and grab that kill. Tactical's definitely dead, but he'll be typing worth in all chat, absolutely. After that trade, especially with the amount of resources invested by G2.
Yeah, and Core JJ able to retain both of his summoners as well during this. Jensen, now as we take a look into mid lane, he has a little bit of an XP advantage, it seems, over Caps. Not super big.
Well, Cap's actually going to go aggressive here as Wonder comes around. Broxah a little bit late to this party and only level 5. As Caps is going to successfully get the flash out of Jensen. This could really make things difficult in the mid lane as Brox is going to try and push the Rift Scuttler away from Wonder. Ooh. Okay, looking for a bit of an engage here as Broxah. Didn't expect him to kill him, but he is going to be able to get that smite off. Bit of health back and also the extra money the Rift Scuttler will provide. But an onslaught of shadows now available for the Sylas, which is very frightening.
Yeah, and Sylas is returning to a massive wave up in top lane that Broxah is now going to share the EXP on with Impact. And I'm scratching my head as to how we've arrived at this CS on Broxah. You can see all of his camps are up. And just the pathing that's coming out, overall, a little bit questionable. And Jankos, who's been able to be in multiple places now at the same time, he's also still retaining a slight CS advantage. He's now invading. He's going to steal away some of Brox's camps. And this is a pretty doomsday scenario if you're the Hecarim. You don't want to be this stunted and stifled inside of the jungle because he's such an integral part to their hard engage when it comes into mid-game. But also, because he's been constantly set on the back foot, and because of the stuff that's been happening in mid lane, the neutrality down in bottom, TL hasn't been able to threaten any sort of dragon shenanigans. And so, the game state for them is in a really awkward spot.
Yeah, in fact, no one's really looked at the dragon at all so far this game. G2 has pushed that gold lead back just a little bit with that extra kill. Is now Tactical having to deal with a big old bear running down here. Caps will turn up. Phase dive on top of the Callista as Fate's Call comes down. Only a single knockup, but Core JJ an amazing face breaker before he goes down. It is 2 kills for G2, and they have started this one off early as Impact now in trouble. Chain Lash comes through as Wonder's going to flash. For some reason, just exciting stuff. Sometimes you just want to press your buttons.
He doesn't want to get help pixed and then chained with
It was also very close to turret range,
yeah.
So maybe that was an adjustment there. But yeah, help picks certainly a thing that would have been his death. Some exciting top lane stuff though. Okay, Perks caught in the shot just a little bit as Jankos is here. Onslaught of Shadows comes down as Perks is definitely dead. He's going to throw out a volley in some direction, but he flashes away and will survive. Oh no, Core JJ, will he have enough movement speed from the Q? That's the question. Doesn't have flash, of course, wants to oh, the facebreaker max range! And the Haymaker will secure the kill. Core JJ saying, well, you're not gonna take it, I will.
Well, that is a very big pickup though, because now Ashe, it's not just that she dies. It's that she's missing a cannon wave that's now gonna go into the turret, and Tactical gets all of this XP, all of this solo golden farm, just allocated right into himself. It's a really big thing for TL after what just happened in bot lane.
Yeah.
And now, okay, well, Scuttlecrab gonna be leashed over, so more bad news bears.
Yeah, bad news horses more than anything else, as they are going to try and get some retribution here, moving 3 members up this river. Tactical slightly avoiding the tongue lash there, as the Cloud Drake continues to stay lonely and asleep in his pit. Sproxa will finally take a camp or two here on the bottom side. Does have his Wolves and Gromp available. We'll see whether that's going to spell Team Liquid heading towards something like one of these neutral objectives. Probably going to be aiming for utilizing their team fighting strength at about the 15 to 20 minute mark, something like that. The closer to 2 items you are, the better this composition is going to be. As Impact just trying to hold on here. Has been put pretty considerably behind, especially in farm. 15 CS going to be that gap as Silas continues to put on the pressure. This pick working out very, very well as Rift Herald has been started. Shelly just going to be fighting the bear here just a little bit as Tactical finds himself without too many friends towards the bottom side as he's down extraordinarily low, and Perkz will pick up that kill. Some great health to eat there from Mickey as Impacted teleported, but way too late, and they're going to lose everything. Yeah. And just very unfortunate situations constantly popping up every couple of minutes for TL right now. All the small little edges that they do get at some points in bottom just end up falling away pretty quickly again. G2 now, they're going to take the turret plates. They have the Rift Herald. They're going to be able to summon it. It just looks like what's happening this game is that it's pretty much a lane kingdom everywhere. At mid lane, you can say that Sir Jensen is ahead in CS. Well, he's supposed to be. Yep. As well as Caps has gone places to make things happen. But the early pressure wasn't there to be able to translate into anything meaningful, and so the Echo just got to coast by entirely for free. And the longer that this game goes on, it's only going to get worse. We're at a 3,000 gold lead. Shirley is about to get a second charge here onto the top tier 2, and things are just looking disastrous because TL, who it's so important that their items came online faster and that they team fight sooner than their opponents and they look for those things, aren't going to be able to do it because G2 is actually hitting their item spikes faster than TL. Yeah, and this is also like a genius time to make moves like this for G2. It's just before Team Liquid have managed to get to those spikes where they do want to get to some of these team fights around the objectives, and instead trying to put TL as far behind and as far away from that moment as possible, as Perkz doesn't quite have the arrow. It's finally up as Wonder's turned up. Oh! There's the onslaught of shadows, but it's not the one coming from TL, and 2 very swift kills out of G2. This could be the beginning of the end for Team Liquid, as Caps not able to find the parallel convergence, but that would have just been the cherry on top. Well, able to get the ghost at the very least. More turret plates now going to go down here in bottom, and this is a massacre. Yeah, that we are absolutely witnessing. I think this needs a mature audience warning. People tune into the stream. I didn't check out the rating actually beforehand. Maybe we'll need to do some adjustments. You're absolutely right, as Perkz going to come through, try and grab this last turret plate before it falls down in 10 seconds time, and he will do so. 460 gold in the back pocket. He's 3-1-3. Guy has been doing a hell of a lot of stuff around this map, despite that one whoopsie from earlier on. Immediately hijacks the Onslaught of Shadows. Does Wonder. Zach's replay just demonstrating how good G2 are at these early game skirmishes and team fights that they can orchestrate for themselves, because they needed to with this comp. I just love how G2 have managed to navigate how their comp works in this earlier stage. Yeah, I mean, they're up 5,000 gold exactly at 14.5 minutes. I mean, things are just looking fantastic for them. Everything is just going super well. I wouldn't be too surprised to just see a Magi Soulstealer, the correct book, actually be picked up by Caps here in just a short moment. Impact is just so far behind inside of this game from where he would ideally like to be. And also, I mean, the Lulu's not supposed to lose a lane like this, right? Like, Lulu is there to be a bully. She always has been. But this Silas certainly working out very, very well. It's an okay matchup. Of course, Silas was picked into Kennen a lot of the time. This is a pick that is pretty good into some of these majors towards the top side. And Wonder is just demonstrating exactly how good at this point in time. As now the red buff. G2 not going to be letting up the pressure at all as the arrow sails by through that pixel brush. The TL have been effectively moved out. Oh, Brox is going to be able to grab that Smite Steal. Facebreaker down onto Caps, interrupted as he tries to go over the wall, but the flash will get him to safety. As the Rend pulled out there by Tactical, and only Mickey X taking a little bit of damage. But G2 can do this. They can afford to add all this pressure. And now CoreJJ going to get locked up. The Fate's Call has to be invested, and so many R buttons now falling down. Haymaker comes in. It's another good facebreaker from CoreJJ. He's doing the best that he can. Doesn't quite have Haymaker back available, but doesn't need it. As there is another fight here towards the north, as Wonder's at full health. And not at too much risk of dying. The health bars of TL looking a little bit worse for wear as G2 will go for a reset. Yeah,
G2 are going to just get the reset here. They're piling quite a bit of gold. That was really close between the bot lanes there. It almost looked like Caps was actually going to fumble and give over a kill, but he managed to get the ultimate off just in time. Everything's fine. Ocean Dragon's coming up in 1 minute and 20. It means that we are going to have a pretty meaningful dragon.
Yep.
This game, obviously, given that Cloud was first.
Yep, Mountain or Infernal this game. Those of you playing at home. Perkz going to be taking down his Brambleback. As although he got caught out by CoreJJ earlier on, Perkz has been pretty integral to this composition thus far. I absolutely love the 3-item build that he's going for on the Ashe. I think that the damage potential out from the Hurricane, Essence Reaver, and Infinity Edge build from Ashe is just really, really strong once you get to that point. And he is going to be able to reap those benefits quite effectively. Is now just back into farming mode. You mentioned that 5,000 gold lead. Well, that is still there. 30 seconds on this Ocean Drake. G2 in full control at this stage of the game.
Yeah, everything is just going very well for them. You have the resistances coming out that's going to make it really hard for Syndra to be able to really do anything. And when you have opponents that are itemizing magic resist for Syndra, when Merc Treads are incentivized on the enemy team, it not only hurts the Syndra, it also really hurts the Lulu, because she's already going so supportive, she's not really going to be able to add anything other than just pure support. But when her primary carries that she's supposed to be bolstering are not able to really do anything when they're so far behind their opposition, then Lulu just ends up feeling pretty hopeless.
Yeah, you kind of lose any of the upsides. As speaking of which, G2 going to be starting off this Ocean Drake. TL not wanting to give this one away for free. They did manage to get that first one. Wonder getting pushed out just a little bit, but the Drake is going to very cleanly go over to G2. And the arrow not going to connect there onto Tactical, who walks intelligently towards Wonder as Caps is going to close the gap. CoreJJ over with the Hex Flashes. Now Broxer looking to get into that back line. He's by himself though, and he gets put underneath the turret. Oh dear. As that's a decent facebreaker out from CoreJJ, trying to salvage this fight, but you can see in the health bars that it's not going well for Team Liquid. Jensen underneath his turret, but that is not as safe as he's otherwise like it to be. Impact doing a decent job there, but even the Storm ripping him apart as Wonder gets underneath the turret and takes down the Lulu. And now G2 will be able to take down this outer turret in the mid lane. 10-2 in kills. This is getting towards a shellacking.
Oh, this is a massacre in the making right now. G2, they're up almost 8,000 gold. And you have 10 stacks Darkseal on Wonder, so he does recall, he picks up a blasting one, so it's not going to be the Mage Eyes for him just yet. Everyone on the side of G2 is just so far ahead.
Yeah, I have to give it to Wonder though. Being able to choose exactly the right ultimates at a moment's notice, that showstopper, absolutely amazing. I mean, Broxer probably shouldn't have gone that deep.
Oh,
I know Hecarim's